Number two, please check out the last slide pertaining to Dorothea Puente, the death landlady, whorehouse, woman who took in checks. Please check out that information. I also have content shared to my community page pertaining to the movie Dorothea, now playing on Tubi and also on YouTube, and also a tour of the house. It has been bought by someone else now, and Oxygen has given content pertaining to Dorothea. Welcome to the Vault XL. This commentary is pertaining to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. What's the crime scene staged? News Nation has the latest developments pertaining to Nancy Guthrie. Welcome to the Vault XL. During this slide, we will also discuss the results from my polls. Thank you. Let's get down to business, everybody.
84-year-old Nancy Guthrie is now nearing the 2-month mark. There are still no arrests and no clear answers. Her daughter, Savannah, speaking out for the first time about the turmoil she has experienced since her mother went missing and announcing she will be going back to work at the Today Show. Investigative conducted from her Arizona home despite tens of thousands of tips. The case had weeks. The reward for information in the case has now surged past $1 million, with newly added funds hoping to generate fresh leads as the family continues to plead for her return. Let's bring in Michael Hubie, president of Milwaukee Crime Stoppers. Michael, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
In addition to being the president of Milwaukee Crime Stoppers, you are also a high-profile attorney. You're putting up $100,000 of your own money in hopes of helping find Nancy Guthrie. You even paid for a billboard in Tucson to raise awareness. We're going to show that billboard in a moment. There it is. The question many people are wondering is why? Why help out in this case, Michael?
Well, I'm president of Milwaukee Crime Stoppers. I paid $75,000 to solve the murders of 2 small girls, and I have $200,000 pending now in 5 murder cases in Milwaukee. And I didn't think the publicity or I didn't think the crime scene was handled properly.
Thank you.
They didn't secure the crime scene in a way I thought they should. I don't think they got all the information they could have from the crime scene. And just to be clear, my reward is for the tip that leads to the arrest of the perpetrator.
Amen.
It's not to bring Mrs. Guthrie back.
All right.
That's what Savannah's doing.
Thank you.
My reward is to find the perpetrator. Some people will only come forward. So I think that people should.
This is a very noble gesture. Thank you, sir. He is stating his criteria for getting the money. You have to bring forward information to the perpetrator. You're not just going to say, Nancy's over here, whether she's alive or deceased. No, there's got to be an arrest. And that's how it should be, okay? Because it's sad that people would only come forward for the money. You should do the right thing and tell if you know something about this lady, where she is, what happened to her, who's involved. If it's this crime, another crime, do the right thing. You can always remain anonymous. That's what stupid people don't understand. You don't have to give your name to say, yeah, Joe Blow was in a bar and he said he unalived that guy. He whacked that guy. He unalived that lady. He sexually assaulted that lady. Just make the phone call and say, this is the guy. This is what he looks like. This is his description. This is her description. And keep it moving. But he says you're not getting his unless you are bringing forward information to an arrest. Amen.
Focus more on calling Crime Stoppers and not call the FBI or the sheriff.
Why can tips being anonymous make a difference when it comes to this investigation, Michael?
Because some people won't come forward if they're not anonymous. They don't want their friend to know they turned them in or got a reward for doing it. Well, the friend goes to prison and they get a reward.
Right.
And people often are called snitches, so they don't.
Right. Young man said on YouTube about a year or so ago, and I'm so glad I heard what he said because it's so true. He said, you are only a snitch if you are involved in crime. We as people have got to stop using that terminology. I don't want to be a snitch. I ain't no snitch. As this one black man said, you're only a snitch if you're involved in the crime. Snitching is not for used as somebody broke into your car and you're looking at the person and you call 911 and say, hey, there's this black guy or white guy or Mexican guy here breaking in my car. He's this tall, woo, woo, woo. How are you snitching? And it's your damn car at your house. You see somebody abducting a woman, a kid off the street. How are you snitching? That is a street person's mentality. And I agree with this young man who said that. Snitching is for people who are involved, not an innocent bystander. Not somebody who don't know nothing, have nothing to do with nothing. Exactly.
The Today Show, she touched briefly on the notes that were sent to her mom. Here's a little bit of what she shared.
There are a lot of different notes, I think, that came. And I think most of them, it's my understanding, are not real. And I didn't see them. But the two notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real.
Let's interject there. Two of the notes she believes were real, are real, says Savannah Guthrie. Do you agree? Do you believe that two or more or one of the notes is from the actual kidnapper? We're also hearing from Nancy Grace that the kidnapper in another note saying he apologizes, that he did not know that Nancy was in the shape she was in. What the hell are you talking about? You didn't have no business going in her house. Whatever sent you to Nancy Guthrie's house, you didn't have no business going there. You now want to pretend that you're the Reaper? You're the Reaper now? Oh, Nancy Guthrie, her time is up. Who the hell are you? Okay? I don't know who these people are sending these stupid letters to TMZ, the news. Just stop it. We've had enough. You haven't gotten the money. Stop it. How dare you send a letter saying, I apologize. You apologize for what? Being a goofball playing with the media and with a family who are grieving the loss of their mother, because most of us believe that the woman is not alive. And I believe these family members probably think the same. So this is your way of doing what? You want more attention? Is this the same person that was sending the letters, the notes? I don't know, but it is time to stop this foolishness. How dare you? Oh, I apologize. I didn't know she was in such bad health. Oh, so basically you're saying you thought Nancy Guthrie was in good health, so that's a reason to unalive her? What the F? This is preposterous. Whoever is doing this, you need to stop. And I hope they catch your ass. I hope they catch you. And they give you the highest punishment allowed by state law. Because these mind games you're playing, not to believe anything any of these people have said in notes, letters, whatever. Just let it go, Savannah. Because if somebody had your mother, if somebody unalived your mother, they want that damn money. 2 for 2. They are involved with your mother's disappearance and the unaliving of your mother, storing your mother. They would tell you where she is, alive or deceased. These are nut jobs, besides the person that harmed her mom. To me, they're all one and the same. They have no empathy and they do not care about your mother and they do not care about you and your family.
Well, based on your experience, what does that tell you now that we have a bit more information about the notes that are being evaluated? What might make certain ones stand out as credible?
Well, I think the notes are fake because if somebody kidnaps a person for ransom, what they want to do is, as soon as possible, get the ransom money and return the person. And I don't see any of that here. I don't see proof of life. I don't see a credible ransom note. I think these are fake.
Weeks ago, investigators released that surveillance video that we've all seen. It shows a masked man at Nancy's front door the night she disappeared. That detail has become such a major focus on the investigation. How much video that we're showing our viewers, how much does it help And why might they still be holding back when it comes to investigators maybe hitting some snags when it comes to this investigation?
Well, the perpetrator is masked. I don't know how much the video is going to help, but someone might recommend it's him, and I'm going to pay to put up another billboard that shows the perpetrator. It's like a wanted poster.
Thank you.
And maybe someone will recognize him and come forward, which often happens.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
1.2 million reward. No suspects, no arrests. No one's been named as a perpetrator. Some people believe it's more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This man is offered up $100,000 reward. 102.5 is the number. You can remain anonymous. Do the right thing. This is an elderly person missing. And whether it is Nancy Guthrie, the mother of a famous person, it is a woman who lives next door to you, a lady that lives down the street, 2 states over, it does not matter. Let's not focus on the minute details. She is a human being. And that's what you need to understand about this story, that Nancy is a human and she's a child of God before she is anybody's mother, sister, grandmother, neighbor. It could be you, it could be your mother, it could be your aunt, it could be your friend. You would want justice, you would want information revealed and brought forward for a prosecution. And that is what you need to remember about this case. Do the right thing. Money should not be an object to do the right thing. I get it, a lot of us are in need of money, but it should not be the reason that you would come forward. And what is baffling is that we have a lot of money on the table and nobody is coming forward. Make that make sense. Somebody knows the truth because somebody took Nancy Guthrie. She did not walk out. She did not wander. This is not our typical true crime case of a child abduction, missing, all the hoopla with, yeah, he went missing, this, that, and the other. We'll do another live pertaining to people missing here in Tennessee. That will probably be the live for tomorrow. I find it baffling that no one has come forward to say, yes, I know exactly what happened. That's my brother, that's my husband, that's my boyfriend, that's my baby daddy. That looks like him, I think that's him. Do the right thing. Because what you need to tell yourself, if this person is capable of breaking and entering, unaliving an elderly person and disposing her like trash, he would do the same to you, he would do the same to your child. And I won't doubt he's living in a house with a woman with children, because we see these type of creepy crawlers. They live in houses with women, although they hate women, don't like women, but they're with them. Come on with it, Queen, preach. They're always in the house with a woman, but they hate women. You know why you hate a woman? Because you hate yourself. You don't like you. I don't care, Sophie. They will put you in hiding until they get this person looped in. Because more than likely, this person has left behind some type of evidence pertaining to the crime. Because one thing you always have to remember about these type of creeps, they like memorabilia. For all I know, he took some of Nancy's underwear, he took a ring, he took some jewelry, he took a photograph, he took something out of her house. For all I know, he went in the refrigerator, he ate something, drank out the jug. See, nobody thinks. This has happened so many times with true crime. They drink out of your soda pop can. They drink out your milk jug. Did anybody swipe her milk jug? Her orange juice, apple juice jug? Ding, 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 ding. He could have went in the cupboards and pulled out a cup, poured something to drink, and then guess what? Put the cup back in the cupboard. And I get it. They say, oh, we can't test everything, but you have to use logic. You have to think outside of the box. And from what we're learning about Nanos and his department, he's gotten rid of all the people who are qualified to handle a murder investigation. The people who he got on board, they haven't even been studying homicide, but for 2 years. And this is no disrespect to them because they have to learn. But you need seasoned people to exact an investigation. The 2-year-old detectives can be learning from the people who are seasoned. So let's start at the beginning. The who, the why. How many people? Have they told anybody? Somebody else knows. Why aren't you coming forward? Why would you uphold this type of disgusting behavior? Man, woman, man, woman, woman, man. Who's involved? Family? Distant family? Because I find it funny nobody has mentioned distant relatives. You mean to tell me Nancy and her dead husband don't have any other relatives in the state of Arizona? See, I pay attention to everything. One other person related to the Guthries that live in the general area. You have not mentioned anybody that could possibly be a suspect that possibly were asking for money, in a drug addict, anything. I do believe the perpetrator is a drug addict. I believe he's a dope fiend. He's on meth, fentanyl, crack cocaine. He's a drinker. He's a hothead. He pops off. He's an assaulter. He has an assault arrest. He's been accused of assault. He's an abuser. Come on with it, Queen. I'm woke. Is it somebody that's worked for Nancy? Somebody she fired, somebody she let go. They're angry, they're mad. Uber driver, UPS driver, somebody that worked for her. Caretaker, nurse aide, somebody that came to do blood pressure, brought medicine. She talked too much. She told the wrong thing. They know she's alone. She's always alone. Stay woke. Because that is what people look for when they are on the take. There's nobody ever coming by when I'm here. I'm doing her physical therapy. I'm coming here to check on her. I'm the maid, woo, woo, woo. There's nobody ever stopping by. There's nobody ever calling. People pay attention even when they're not on the take. Let me make that clear. On the take, you're noticing things. You're not on the take, you're noticing things. And as they said, this could be an extension. And that means the people working for her or been around her may not have done anything, but they may have said something to someone about Nancy's demeanor, her home life. Oh, you know the lady I work for, whose house I clean? Nobody's ever around. Nobody comes around. She lives very well. Oh my God, she's the mother of someone famous. How lucky they are. Bet she's got some money. Bet she got some money in the bank. She ain't hurting for nothing. She don't ever buy nothing. She spends a lot, blah, blah, blah. People talk and people observe. I think you as a human know who spends money on things and who don't. You visit your friends, associates. You look at dress when they come to work. Oh, she never wears anything different. She wears the same clothes, same shirt, same pants. Stay woke. She gets her hair done, her nails done. She's coiffed. She looks good, blah, blah, blah. She must be living well. Exactly. Very good point, Sophie. Thank you. Somebody knew she stayed in pain a lot. Very good. Because we have seen that happen here in East Tennessee and around the United States. People get their houses broken into and get robbed and unalived because they have narcotics in their house, such as painkillers. Well said. Is this a break-in because she had narcotics, heavy meds? But like they said, why would you take her? You leave her. And even if you went there to rob her for whatever reason, you had no reason to take her. Why is she not here? Must believe she is not alive. So it still makes no sense to take the victim. You only take the victim if you have been accused of something, sexual assault, and your DNA can be tracked to a certain type of crime, be it burglary, be it sexual assault. Stay woke, everybody. Somebody's done something, and that's why they took her. I don't want my DNA coming up because it doesn't make any sense to take her. So what the motive is, let me make this clear. Whatever the motive is, you had no reason to take her. Now, the reason for this live stream, was the scene staged? Back doors were propped open, says Savannah Guthrie during the NBC Today Show interview. But that's what somebody told her. Come on with it, Queen. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to Miss Guthrie, Savannah, But Savannah, you're only going on what somebody told you. And the one thing Queen has learned at 55, talk is cheap. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Yes. Mama's missing. What you talking about? What you mean? Did you call the police? Yeah, they're here. Okay, I'm on my way. I'm coming. Did you call the police? Yeah. Did you call the 911? Did you call the hospital? Well, let me call. As somebody said, I believe it's on the interview room. Why would Savannah need to check the hospital when you just told you checked the hospital? Checkmate. Did they check the hospital? Let me say it again. Savannah only knows what has been told to her, which ain't shit. She's going off of what Annie and Tommaso told her. She's going off what the church lady told her. And she's going off what police have told her and whatever that may be. That ain't nothing. Because what is this here? Seeing is believing. You don't know anything. And it's, as I said, it's no disrespect to her family, but I look at things differently than most. And when you live a certain type of life, you do view things different than most. She doesn't have the gift of discernment. Savannah, she said her sister has intuition, but she ain't got it, but Queen got it. You only know what's been told to you. How do we know that the doors were propped open when Nancy left out of there? Say it again, Queen. I don't know anything. We can get all excited. We got an update. The doors were propped open. How do we know they were propped open when that lady left out of there? How do I know the doors weren't propped open when somebody got there? And you still don't want to talk about the fact that Tommaso and Annie were in that house with Nancy. That came from the sheriff night one in an interview. Check it out. It's on the Pima County Facebook page. Thank you for Monk's Intrigue YouTube channel. Please check out his network. That's where I heard it from. And I saw the interview with my own damn eyes. Ain't no hearsay. The reporter asked Nanos 2 times, were they in the house with her? Yes. Were they in the house with her? Yes. So there is no dropping off allegedly. They were in her house. So how do I know that one of them didn't leave her doors open? I don't know what the hell is going on here, but this is some foolishness. And I want to be wrong. Let me make this clear. I want it to be not her children, because that would be the ultimate betrayal that a child and her spouse or the brother, whomever, would unalive their mother. And the only reason I can think you unalived your mother is for greed, or you have some grievance with your mother. And as some agents are saying, some of them believe this is a grievance. Somebody was pissed off with Nancy Guthrie. Somebody despised this old lady. Somebody had a problem with her. And that's what you need to understand about true crime. You don't have to understand the why. It ain't supposed to make no sense. We know that even if you fall out with people and get mad, you ain't supposed to go kill them. You ain't supposed to kidnap them. You ain't supposed to steal from them. But people do. Did somebody have a grievance with this lady? Somebody staged this to look like a kidnapping, but it was not a kidnapping. I got business to handle with this old lady. She done something to me. She done spotted me. She owed me money. She cut me off. She fired me. I'm her child. I'm not her favorite. Come on with it, Queen. Make it make sense. I need money. Mama got money. She won't give it to me. Savannah got money. She won't give it to me. I want more. I need more. Or is it a creepy crawler running around the neighborhood looking for old ladies to sabotage? And as we've heard from Mr. Chris on the interview room, young men and older men do like old ladies. To older ladies, please stay aware. And I do agree, this could be a sexual assault. So I gotta make it look like a kidnapping, because I've left DNA in here. I've left DNA on the victim, in the victim, on her bed. Were her sheets missing? Pillowcases, pillows, comforter. How did they take her out of the house? Blood in the front of the house, but yet you got doors propped open in the back, says Savannah Guthrie. No verification if somebody pried open a door in the back. Savannah says doors. So I'm going to assume she meant doors. So we know there's a blue door in the back with window panes, and also there have to be doors where the patio is. So Savannah, are you speaking of the patio doors and the blue door? I've also questioned that as well. Was it a law enforcement that went in her house and took her out? Because, you know, people in that arena, they rob people too. They rob drug dealers. They break into houses that they know the people got money. You do have dirty cops, deputies that to children. Come on with it, Queen. I'm checking all boxes because I don't know what the hell is going on. And as I said before in my commentary, I do not know what happened to Nancy Guthrie. Let me make that clear. I do not know who took her out of her house. I don't know the motive. But I know it's some funny business. That's what I know. I know that something's not adding up to the disappearance of this lady. So I'm asking you, do you believe the crime scene was staged? The blood in the front is belonging to Nancy Guthrie. So we're not going to say that's made up. But then they open the doors to make it look like, okay, somebody broke in, went in, took her out. It's a kidnapping for ransom. But there's no ransom because we have seen that's not adding up. No one has claimed money. The family hasn't given up money because they want proof of life. They want proof of death. They want a location. You out there who have been playing with the news and TMZ, you haven't given the family any of those things. So of course they would not pay you. Only a fool would pay you. And see, that's a game too. Oh, I hope they pay us. They're desperate. They'll pay. They're desperate. No. Hell no, we're not paying nothing. I want to know where my mama is. Where is my mama? Is my mama alive? Is she deceased? Do you have my mother? Do you have my mother? No, they don't have your mother. Just some jack in the box playing games, perhaps more than one. Staged, that is the question for this live stream. Was the crime scene staged with doors open, doors propped, doors cracked, taking her out to make it look like a ransom? Did the person who took her out actually, they are one of the people who called? See, we don't even have verification of that these calls came from the same person that took her out of the house. For all I know, this is a sexual assault. They ain't thought about no damn money. Taking out personal items, pictures, whatsoever. Some will say, well, why now? Why didn't you do it before? Well, they might have been hoping they find their mother. No need of removing things from her home if she's possibly alive. But perhaps at this juncture, the family says, mama's not confidential material. They're learning some things and they're deciding to remove some things from her house. I don't know. We don't really know what the hell's going on now, do we? We just know little old lady ain't returned home, possibly deceased. If it's somebody close to the family, involved in the family, then yes, they would possibly stage it to make it look like a ransom kidnapping because they don't want anybody looking at them. Let's make it look like somebody broke in. Let's make it look like somebody, came in and got mom. Know anything? She's in New York. But we have learned that people can be in other jurisdictions and still perfect a crime. And I'm not here to accuse her or her brother Cameron but I'm not here to accuse them. I'm not here to accuse her sister and her husband, Tommaso. I'm not here to accuse any other children, adult children, teenage children. I don't know these people. And I am trying to stay neutral, but I just think there's some bullshit. And I'd like to know this propping of the doors. You thought you were going to take her out that way because it was closest to her bedroom? What? Or you changed your mind? So did you open the doors when you first got in? Okay, I'm gonna take her out this way. But there's nothing back there but grass and a swimming pool. So where were you gonna be taking her? Help the queen understand. Or were you gonna take her out through the garage? But then if we think that, we have to say, well, why is there blood in the front of the house? Front door. Then Banfield tells us there was blood in the front entryway. So that means what? You hit her going out. She knows this is about to be doomsday. Uh-oh. They're going to do something to me. Don't take me, please don't take me. They punch her. And she bled right there in the entry, then bled outside. They're holding her, get the door situated. What the hell is, I don't know what the hell I'm listening to because I wasn't there. Where immediately hurt. Hey, you got a box with some money, you got a cookie jar. How did it all go down? Give me your money, your jury. We have not heard anything about forged checks, debit cards, credit cards, lines of credit being opened up. So what was the motive? You mean to tell me you want this old lady? You want a ransom, but you don't steal anything? You don't even take jewelry, a necklace? You don't go in the refrigerator, get a cold drink, as my grandmother used to say. Would you like a cold drink? Southern talk. Would you like a cold drink? Was it worth it? Whoever you are, was it worth it? You going into a little old lady's house, violating her personal space and peace, harming her, hitting her, taking her out, which shows you are violent. And you probably hit some other people in your lifetime, probably still hitting people, probably popping off right now as I speak. You took her out of there, and the motive was what exactly? Were you hired to unalive Nancy Guthrie? Did she hurt herself, have a stroke, heart attack in the meanwhile while being in the house, or after the fact, leaving the house? What was the motive for entering this woman's house? What was the motive for you putting your damn hands on her? Because you're ignorant as hell. You're a misfit. Why would somebody take this old lady out of her house? Are those ransoms real or not? Was somebody just playing duck, duck, goose games? They're really the perpetrator who took her out, but they wanted to play with the family, make them suffer. Is that what this is all about? I'm gonna make this family suffer. I don't like Nancy, I don't like Savannah, I don't like the family, I don't like Pookie, Ray Ray, Bubba. I want everybody to suffer. I don't understand what the hell's going on. What was the motive for violating this elderly person? You mean to tell me you couldn't give her a pass? She offended you? Brother offended you? Annie Tommaso offended you? Savannah offended you? You couldn't just say, I'm going to give them a pass. You had to go inside this house and violate this elderly person? Unalive this person? And in most states, even if you didn't unalive Nancy, but she died on your watch, you are a murderer. Checkmate. You're responsible for the death of an 84-year-old lady, because had you not been in her damn presence, she'd be alive today. And it wasn't your time or your place to unalive her. When it was time for her to check out, it was God's time. But then someone said, well, Queen, it's still God's time because God knows all. Yes, he does. But Lord have mercy, this is just cruel. Take the poll on my community page. If you believe this incident was staged, a crime scene. Where is Nancy Guthrie? Is she in the desert, near the border of Mexico, in Mexico? Is it a hoax? I'll go there. I don't want to believe that. I'm not on board with conspiracy theories. The Martians did it and all that old type of nonsense. But we learned about the kidnap game from the mouth of Savannah through her book. So one would have to wonder, is this just a reinvention of a game that they played many years ago with their mother? Lord have mercy, that would be just cruel now, would it? Have people wondering that how Nancy's doing and she's alive somewhere. And then you have to ask yourself, well, let's say she's alive and this was a hoax. What would be the motive to stage a hoax? Shall I say a Sherry Papini? The only reason why I don't believe it's a Sherry Papini revisited is because I ain't gonna let nobody cut me and beat me knowing I'm 84 years old. Do you see where I'm going with that? And my kids couldn't talk me into going along with the hoax. Mommy, we're gonna beat you up and punch you in your mouth and it's gonna be all for the greater good. Or the mother is not well, not mentally stable. She's a sociopath and she concocted this. She's somewhere laid up at some friend's house or a man's house looking at everybody wondering where the hell she is. That would be really, really crazy. But after I showed you this case of Miss Puente, she was 71, unaliving her boarders in her house. So age doesn't really mean anything. You can be crazy as hell at 70 and 84. And this is no disrespect to Nancy Guthrie, but I'm asking all the questions and I'm bringing up things that people have mentioned in commentary in the chat and different chats. Is this a hoax? Is this a hoax? Could this lady be crazy? But like I tell people, no, I can't see a person wanting to harm themselves. I'm not getting ready to bleed to exact a hoax at 84. Maybe I was 25, 40. I'd let somebody punch me and I'm that damn crazy. But an 84-year-old say, yeah, punch me, make my nose bleed so I can exact this hoax. That would be just outrageous now, wouldn't it? But as they say, truth is stranger than fiction. And Lord have mercy, that would just be absolutely disgusting for anyone to exact a hoax of an elderly person missing, kidnapped. So what are our options for the who and the why? Someone who has worked with and for Nancy Guthrie, her own children, a random person who has had contact with her through her, visiting, dropping off packages, Uber, Lyft. Somebody she met out at the grocery store, DMV. They became fascinated with her. Sick old person obsessed with an 84-year-old woman. Fantasy. I have a fantasy of being with an elderly woman. I want to tie her up, gag her, do nasty things to her. Excuse me. But we have to be realistic because there are people out here like that. And we learned that there are 20-year-olds that are usually the culprit for doing these nasty things to elderly women. Shut your mouth. That information came from Mr. Chris, the interview room. Is this a sexual assault? Because I kind of believe it might be. Somebody became fascinated with this elderly lady. They knew she was alone, disturb and do what they wanted to do with her. And they took her out for the obvious reasons. Because they left DNA in her home, in her bed, and on her. He may have had to go to the restroom to clean up. Stay woke, everybody. Did you all check the bathrooms, the sink, the drains? Did you check the garbage cans to see if anybody wiped themselves? Oh yes, I have to get gritty. Because this is real life. Did you check the garbage cans for toilet paper, washcloths? Did you check any washcloths that were on the sink? Because men don't usually care about hanging up towels. Did you check the wash machine and the dryer? detectives. And once again, did you check anything in the refrigerator? DNA on any glassware, milk cartons, milk jugs, juice jugs? I won't doubt he got a little bit thirsty. Is this a staged crime scene? Okay, he's 22. Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. I got that from the interview room. I'm gonna say, hopefully he knows what he's talking about. But there are men who are fascinated with elderly women. There are men who are fascinated with the fantasy of sexually assaulting, being violent with a woman. They watch violence content of people suffering, and that's what they want to see is you suffer. They want you to beg for their life. They also want you to enjoy it. But I don't know how a person can enjoy violent, RAPE, being gagged, punched, hurt, cut. Come on now. But you're talking about the mind of a sick person. So what's the stage? The scene stage, the house, the crime scene, anything in the rooms. This is bizarre. Back doors open, but yet we have blood in the front of the house, allegedly blood in the entry. Don't know if that's true. Blood outside, blood going down the walk. I'm assuming they pulled up and took her out. They picked her up at the front walk. So what's the point of back in the back? You thought you were going to take her out that way? And where was the other person or the car parked? Near the garage. That's why you propped the door open. You came in that way. You parked on the side. You didn't think you could be seen. Did you know she had cameras? Did you know she had a subscription? Didn't have a subscription? We know she didn't have a subscription. Did you know all those things? And the only way you would know that if you were indeed involved with Nancy Guthrie, such as family. A stranger wouldn't know anything about her Nest cameras and anything as far as a subscription. Now, if you've been on the property lurking about and or working for her, yes, you would know, oh, she's got a camera here, camera there, camera on the back. Okay, you know all that. But you don't know she doesn't have a subscription. Only a family member or friend would know this woman ain't paying for no recording. And really, this makes no damn sense to me. Why am I going to? I don't have, number one, a subscription. Number two, I don't have a house alarm. Make it make sense. This woman couldn't move about, says her daughter. So you could be in the back guest house just slumming it up, and Nancy don't know nothing because she ain't moving about to find out. You back there playing video games and eating Doritos, smoking your weed or whatever, and you on her property and she ain't getting up to see nothing. And this is how people get caught up because they can't move about thoroughly. So stuff is going on the property you're not even paying attention to. Somebody may have been cutting screens to the windows, but how do you know? Because you in the rooms, you ain't looking. This is why elderly people don't need to be in no houses by themselves. When it gets to the point that they're immobile, they don't need to be there because it's too easy for somebody to infiltrate. They leave the house after doing something from the inside. Next thing you know, they've put duct tape near the door, so now they can make their way back in. Stay woke. I told you that in the last live. Always walk people out of your front door. Don't ever let people walk out your door. Walk everybody to the door. Carpenter, bugman, plumber. You understand what I'm saying? Because they can put stuff in the door, such as duct tape, and then you lock it, but they double back, and they can slide a card or something in there and pop that damn door open. Path, I don't know what happened. As I've said before in my content, and I'm saying in this live, I don't know. But as I said before you came in, yes, everything should have been checked. Restroom, faucets, drains, because you don't know exactly if the person used the bathroom, made a bowel movement, anything. Say, well, did he smoke a cigarette? Did he throw a cigarette butt out? He touched something in her house. Did she have cash on hand? Most elderly people keep cash. They're old school. Was he asking for personal information such as passcodes to debit cards, Cash App cards? She didn't want to tell him. Hey, give me the money. Where's the money? You got a safe? Somebody asked about that the other day. Could she have had a safe? Fair question. She could have, but she's old school. She probably had her money in a box somewhere, hid up in the closet like most old people, in an envelope. There was probably cash in the closet under some clothes. Checkmate. You got to remember, she's 5'2", 5'4". She ain't trying to reach very far to get any cash on hand. Because older people do things different than younger people, middle-aged people. Thank you, sweetheart. Was this an inside job? So it could be two ways. Inside person, meaning a family, friend, associate, staged the place to make it look like she was kidnapped for ransom. Number two, it was a sexual assault. They knew they had left behind DNA, so they had to take the body out, and they left doors open to make it look like somebody, came on in, took her out, but I had to take her with me because I left behind my semen, saliva, and as some people have been saying, he did have a flashlight in his mouth. Naturally, you have something in your mouth, long-winded, you're going to start to dribble. You should have taken that mat out front. You ought to know what you're doing out there in Pima County. He's touching his mouth with the gloves, meaning he's touching the Nest camera. He's touching the thing that it's connected to. They had to take it off. Some say he knew the camera was there. Some think he didn't know the camera was there. Some think one's involved, two involved, three involved. I don't know. But I know a car was eventually on that damn property. Walkie-talkie, Wi-Fi jammer, I don't know. Strange other neighbors, but that happens. Could all be circumstantial. I wonder how she helped. Gardener, pool, lawn care, house care. Wonder if she pays cash. Exactly. Probably both. She writes a check or cash, depending on the preference of the individual. Hello, Roro. Most people want cash that's doing that kind of work. I've done caregiving work, and I prefer cash. You're not writing me no bogus check, because it'd be hell on wheels. I get a bad check. All my caregiving services were in cash, except through an agency. Do you understand? So very good point. Somebody knows she keeps cash. Well said. So see, our perpetrator could be anybody. Random person, people who work for her, people she hired, let go, got fired. Somebody's holding a grudge, family member, greedy ass family, distant risk. It could be anybody. But was this crime staged to look like Nancy? During this live, I'm going to read off some questions that I asked last night. Feel free to chime in intermittently. My English is really bad. During this live pertaining to Nancy Guthrie and the questions asked on this poll. I decided to put the poll in this live so I wouldn't have to come back and do a live number 3. Please check out the last live. Very informative information pertaining to Dorothea Puente. She was a woman who rented rooms in her home back in the 80s, and she unalived her boarders and stole their Social Security checks. She forged documents. She made fake IDs, pretending to be these people. She used aliases. She was a prostitute. Dorothea was a rough woman. Do you think the family should be more emotional? Well, I can't say. Do you not believe that they're emotional? What are you saying? You don't believe the family's emotional? I do believe the family should have talked to the news in the beginning. I believe they should have had a few interviews with the news in the beginning. That's what I think. The fact that now the sister, the brother, the husband, they have not spoken, since she did all her IG videos. That's bothersome to me. We also heard that she said that everybody was on board to everything she said in her IG videos. Some people may disagree. They think those things were scripted by the FBI. So some might say if Savannah's not being truthful, then you have to ask yourself why. Because she's watching and listening to the things we're saying in the live streams. Always remember that people who are under scrutiny, people who are involved in true crime, one way or the other, they're watching the things you're saying on social media. And so you all have been talking a lot, including myself, and she's watching all of those things, such as some of you may not think they're emotional enough. They didn't talk enough. They didn't do interviews. They should be talking now. Everyone has an opinion of what these people should and shouldn't be doing, but you always have to remember they don't navigate as you would. So that's where the judgment comes in. Why aren't you all talking in the beginning? Why are you doing IG videos? I didn't like that myself because I didn't think that was a place to make content. Your mother's missing. Go talk to the news. Go talk to the station you used to work for. Give a press conference where it's different news and everybody can get the information all at the same time. Why not? People go missing every day. Family talks to the news. Stay woke. Else to me was not appropriate. Now you want to go on out just to vent, give out your feelings? Yeah, okay. But to send a message to a perpetrator, I'm getting ready to go to the news and say, I want to talk to you all. I'm feeling, here's a reward, blah, blah, blah. Of course, we learned she wanted to offer money, but FBI told her no because of those ransoms. But now we learned the ransoms are full of shit. So we don't know where to take this. Who did it? Why? The motive? Where is Nancy Guthrie? Alive, deceased? Deceased. Is this a hoax? Is this something this woman came up with? She's alive somewhere. She wanted attention. The family wanted attention. Did it ever occur to any of you that this was a hoax and these children are doing this for attention because they played the kidnap game when they were children? You have to admit this is very bizarre. You played this game before with Guthrie and the other relative. Stay woke now. And now, fast forward, the game is being played, but for real. Come on now. You have to admit that it's very bizarre. Let's go to Queen's community page. This is the movie I want you to check out. Dorothea. Playing on Tubi and also YouTube. There's also a tour of her house. Also, Oxygen Network content I played during the live. Now for the polls. Of course, it's not adding up. It's not supposed to, sweetheart. That's why it's called true crime. It's not supposed to add up. But as someone said, if we knew a little bit more, it probably would make a lot of sense. We just don't know anything. We don't know what the house looks like. We don't really know if doors were propped open when Nancy was taken out. How do we know somebody didn't come back and open doors? How do we know that Annie and Tommaso didn't open the doors? See, we don't know anything. We're getting half-baked information without verification. And it's not to be disrespectful, but that's just Queen. I don't believe anything because this case is dirty to me. You know why it's dirty? Because Satan is at work. Satan went in and took an old lady out of her house for whatever reason. He's using people. He used some motherfucker to take her out of her house, excuse my language. So I don't expect anything to be truthful in this case because this is the devil's work. And that's what you have to remember about Satan. He uses people. So you can't expect the truth from the sheriff. You can't expect the truth from the family. You can't expect the truth from the neighbors. You can't expect anything. Let's be truthful. All you've heard is a bunch of he said and she said and people talking like they're in Alice in Wonderland out there in Tucson. Those people live in a bubble. They don't even live in the real world. All you've heard is we don't lock our doors. We like to stargaze. We like to jump in the dark. We like to walk the dog in the dark. That doesn't even make any sense. Who wants to walk on a barren road in the dark with a dog? With thyself? No, make it make sense. Ring, ring, ring. Yes, What you doing, Bobby? I'm running in the dark. You're what? You're running in the dark? Yes. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, hey, Susie, what you doing? I'm taking a walk in the dark. Ring, ring, ring. What are you doing? I'm walking the dog in the dark. To take a night. All these interviews with these neighbors, they act like this is the Stepford City or some type of nonsense. Stupid. All right, everybody. Now for the polls. Feel free to go to my community page and take the polls. Would you rent a room from a homeowner? Yes, 8%. 64%, no. 28%, not sure. I am currently renting a room, 0%. Would you rent a room from your home? 0 said yes. No, 88%. Not sure, 12%. Currently doing so, 0%. Would you live in an RV? Yes, 50%. No, 28%. Not sure, 22%. Currently, I am, 0%. Would you live in a hotel? Yes, 38%. No, 43%. Not sure, 19%. Currently, 0. One person replied, Gigi says if I had to, but not sure I could for long. Cheated on a lover or spouse, 28% yes, 70% no. Currently, 0%. I wanted to, 2%. Are you a swinger? 5% yes, 95% no. Past life, 0%. I'd like to try, 0%. Your preference, you're straight, 95%. 0%. You're bisexual, 5%. During summer months, where are you? You're inside, 24%. Outside, 16%. Both, 60%. Tea or coffee? 15% of you said I drink tea. 38% coffee. 31% both. Neither, 15%. You have 2 cell phones. 26%. No, 74%. Landline phone service. Do you have a home phone? 10% said you do. 90% said you do not. Do you have cable? 26% yes, no, 74%. Seafood. 50% like seafood, 50% does not. Your favorite season. 35% said fall, 5% winter, 35% spring, and 25% summer. Do you read books? Yes, 55%. No, 36%. Audio only, 0%. I read and I do audio, 9%. Are you an internet junkie? 70% yes. No, 30%. Your family. Are you close to your family? 62% yes, not close, 38%. Do you want more children? No, 97%. Yes, 3%. Do you have children? Yes, 78%. No, 22%. 22% said, hell no, I don't want more children. Do you believe in God? Yes, 1%. No, 0%. 18 people voted. Thank you. Church. I go. 28%. I do not. 72%. Your neighbors. You like them. That's good. Your job. You're happy. 36%. I'm discontent. 9%. Up and down. 27%. I want out. 27%. Animal lover. 89%. I'm not. 11%. Sports fan. 33% yes. 67% of you said no. Wow, can't believe that. 18 people voted. Homebody, 89% yes. 11% no. Do you use narcotics? 17% yes. Who voted that? 83% no. Shut your mouth. Do you drink alcohol? 33% yes, 67% no. You live where? You live in a 8%. Registered voter, 83%. I don't vote. I ain't no voter, 17%. Can you read and write? 100% said yes out of 16 votes. Do you have a degree, a master's, or PhD? Yes, 27%. No, 73%. Loan money often to others, but they never repay the money. Yes, I'm loaning people money and they don't pay me back, 27%. No, I do not, 73%. You borrow money from others and you don't ever repay. No, 100%, 16 votes. You owe a lot of money to friends and family. Yes, 0%. No, 100%, 15 people voted. Do you have debt? 33% yes, 67% no. Are you happy in your relationship? 80% of you voted yes, 20% no, and only 5 people voted. Happily married, 5 people voted again. 60% yes, 40% no. You regret marrying, 43% yes, 57% no, 7 votes. Would you remarry? 7 people voted again. Yes, I would, 14%. 71% said no. Not sure, 14%. The reason you married your spouse: I was in love, 67%. She was pregnant, 0%. For security, 17%. I'm not sure why the hell I married that person, 17%. 6 people voted. Your home is very clean, 25%. Moderate, 63%. Oh, it's bad, 0%. Deplorable, 13%. 8 people voted. Multiple families living together. Do you like that idea? I think I need to reword it if you agree with it or you're living that way. Anyway, 100% of you voted no, 7%. Are you widowed? 100% no, 5 people voted. Your status: you're single, 33%. Married, 50%. Separated, 0%. You're divorced, but now single, 17%. What is your age? 18 to 34, 35 to 55, 43%. 55 and up, 57%. 7 people voted. Your car: it's older, 43%. It's new, 29%. A few years old, 0%. I don't have a car, 29%. 7 people voted. Wish you could walk away from your life. 0% said yes. 60% no, 40% sometimes. 5 people voted. Your relative commits a crime. What do you do? I'm going to call 911 and go into the police station, 25%. I ain't going to say nothing, 0%. I'm not sure, 25%. Depends on the crime, 50%. Jesus wept. Your friends admit to a crime. Call 911, go to the police station, 0%. I ain't gonna do nothing, 0%. Depends on the crime. 3 votes said 100%. Damn, you all are killing me with these answers. You witness a crime. 50% of you said you're calling 911. I ain't gonna say nothing, 0%. I'm not sure, 0%. Depends on the crime, 50% out of 4 votes. Jesus wept. You all are some little crooks out there. Your adult child commits intentional homicide. Will you support him or her? 33%. You will. I'm going to cut him off, 0%. I'm not sure, 67%. You give birth to a disabled infant. I'm going to keep the baby, 100%. Adoption, 0. Not sure, 0. Do you disown your child, whether he or she's a minor or an adult, after they have stolen from you? Yes, 0%. No, 100%. Not sure, 0%. So 3 people voted that they would not disown their child after the child stole from them. Adopting children of other races. 33% yes, 0% no, 67% not sure, 0% don't care. Interracial dating. 75% yes, 0% no, 25% not sure. And one of the fans said, my son is married to a Hispanic woman, and that is Create with Mo. Your teen daughter is pregnant. What is your option? We're going to keep the baby, 100%. Adoption, 0. Abortion, 0. Not sure, 0. Do you consent to allow your teen to marry? 0, yes. 67, no. 30%, not sure, 33%. Minors charged as adults who commit murder. Do you agree or disagree? Yes, 67% says yes, they should be charged as adults. 33% of you said it depends on the circumstances, 0% no, and 0% not sure. Going to war. Yes, 0%. No, 100%. Not sure, depends on the motive, 0%. Are you pro-life? 100% yes, 2 votes. Are you financially secure? Yes, 2 votes. Your political status, liberal, 0, conservative, 0, neutral, none, 100%. Both, 0%, only 1 person voted. Wow, wow, wow. My weekend movie is Goodbye, Honey. It is free on Tubi. Check it out. It's a very weird movie about a woman pulling over on the side of the road in an RV park or some type of park. She drives a tractor trailer. She's sleepy. She's trying to get some rest. And a young girl runs up needing help, knocking on her passenger door, saying somebody is after her. She doesn't know to believe her or not. It takes a wicked turn as soon as she invites that girl into her tractor trailer. Goodbye, Honey is my weekend movie, now free on Tubi. If you have only one child, do you wish he or she was the opposite sex when they were born? 4% yes, 96% no, 51 people voted. 1 person replied. Wannabe Sleuthing said, whatever pops out, I am grateful for it. Boy, girl, alien, radioactive, goat man, etc. It doesn't matter. That's my baby. Wow. Is it wrong for a parent to buy their minor son girl dolls and clothes and accessories? That was a live from the other day. Check it out. 29% of you said yes, it is wrong for you to buy a boy girl toys and clothes. 47% of you said no, 24% not sure, 17 people voted. Savannah Guthrie will return to the Today Show April 6th. Should she return? Yes, 20%, 50% no, 30% not sure. I asked you all, why not? Why shouldn't Savannah Guthrie return to work? Once again, part 3 of her interview has been uploaded to the YouTube queue, and I also shared it to my community page. A day ago, I posted, El Paso needs to own responsibility for keeping Chris Nanos on as long as they did and not revealing his work history to Pima County. 1 person replied, 100% I agree. I'm sorry, but I would have been all over that sheriff and not in a good way. I would have been in that department still there waiting for that sheriff to find my mom. I am thankful I don't live there. That is from Debbie Fox. So how does Savannah and the family feel about the latest developments pertaining to Nanos' work history? 8 suspensions, subordination, gambling, not showing up for work, beating up a guy with a flashlight, handcuffed. Does she have trust in he and the department to investigate the disappearance of her mother and possible homicide? Will she speak on her feelings pertaining to Sheriff Nanos and her mother's case? Should Sheriff Nanos be arrested for lying under oath? 81% said yes, 10% no, 10% not sure. Will Sheriff Nanos resign instead of risking being voted out? 20% yes, 35% no, 10% not sure. He should resign, 35%. Will Sheriff Nanos get voted out? 72% yes, 6% no, 22% says you're not sure. Jackie T says fingers crossed. Has Sheriff Nanos committed crimes while working for Pima County? If that is something people need to be focused on, considering he's a liar, he's vindictive, he hasn't changed his ways since leaving El Paso, you might be dealing with a crooked cop. And I think he may need to be investigated along with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. 80% of you believe he has committed crimes while working for the Sheriff's Department. You're not sure. Savannah Guthrie says Nancy's back doors were propped open. Did the kidnapper leave them open? You're not sure, 25%. Is Savannah Guthrie naive being involved in mom's disappearance? Yes, 63%. No, 20%. Not sure, 17%. Sky says years back, Nanos was investigated by the FBI. Okay. Many of you may think that she's naive in thinking her family's not involved. And we learned this in her interview with NBC this week, that she said, she might have been gullible or dumb, rather, when her brother thought that perhaps the mother was kidnapped. I didn't think that was anything suspicious, her brother thinking that. He's worked with the military. He's gotten some type of experience with, military intel. I think he thought what a lot of people thought. The mother was kidnapped, and obviously she was. But was it for ransom? That's the point. I don't think that part is possibly true, that she was kidnapped for ransom. But she was removed from the home. But I don't think she is in tune to the possibility that her family could be involved. And I get it. She's thinking to herself, I know my sister, I know my brother, I know Tommy, as she called Tommaso. They wouldn't do this. They wouldn't hurt mommy. But my thing is, you don't know people. And once again, as I have said during my lives, I'm not here to say that Nancy, her children rather, hurt her, unalived her. But all I'm saying is you don't know people. And perhaps the sister, Savannah is naive because she's saying they wouldn't do anything. They were taking good care of mommy. But as I have told you during my lives, for all we know, they got tired of taking care of her. They wanted money. They wanted to be free. They wanted to live a free life without being obligated to this old lady. They wanted money. They wanted the house. They wanted her car. They wanted whatever. The one thing I'm going to say is, which most of you know, you're not going to get any insurance money because the body hasn't been found. And then there has to be an autopsy to prove it wasn't homicide and that you ain't got nothing to do with your mother's death. Did they have something to do with it? I don't know. Lots of questions on the polls. Take the polls, everybody. This is my way of learning you all and how you feel about things. Naturally, anyone's entitled to take the polls, whether you watch this network or not. They are open to the polls. Going through my community page, asking all the said questions about life in general and this case. Thank you so very much for taking the polls. Feel free to take the polls while you're now watching this live stream. And do take the polls pertaining to Sheriff Nanos. Once again, should he be removed? 86% said yes, 5% no, 10% of you said you're not sure. After Savannah's interview, do you believe her family is involved? Yes, 50%, 19% no, 31% not sure. Is she naive about her family being involved? 63% of you said yes, she is. 20% no, 17% not sure. Once again, 50% of you do believe they are involved, even after watching her interview with NBC. 19% no, once again, 31% not sure. I asked these questions. Bonnie says he does need to go under that poll, or I actually be removed. Once again, I just asked all the basic questions. I'm not here to say that sheriff is involved in the crime. I'm not here to say that her family, Nancy's family, are involved. I'm just asking all basic questions pertaining to this crime. Just going through my community page, asking all the said questions. 8 days ago, I asked you all a crazy question pertaining to church and the pastor. I'm going to throw this in here anyway. Do you continue attending? Thank you so much. Lord knows I appreciate that. Everything I just read to you is on my community page. Yes. Sheriff Nanos is in the process of being recalled. They need 122,000 votes by July. If you live in the greater community of Tucson, Arizona, you feel like the sheriff is not capable of being a decent human being and sheriff, and also solving true crime, such as Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, vanishing, homicide, vote to have him removed. I think he needs to be voted out just for the fact that he has lied. Whether I knew anything about Nancy Guthrie, Peter, Paul, Dick, Mary, to me, you had no business lying on your resume. He had some very serious infractions. And as I said before on my community page and in this live, I'll say it again. El Paso, you need to stand account as well, because you allowed this man to work and you suspended him 8 times. We only have 10 fingers. We only have 10 fingers. And you suspended him 8 times. So you're just to blame as Pima County for hiring him. As I said before, who hired him at Pima County? Is this person alive? Is there documentation of a background check, history check, work history check? Did they hire him knowing he was suspended? Because we have seen this with many police departments, sheriff offices. Just like we're talking about him being suspended 8 times, somebody could have easily verified that information and hired him anyway. Because what is the difference between keeping him on 8 times and then finally saying, okay, either resign or we fire you, versus going in and hiring somebody with a bad track record? It's the same to me. I don't see a difference. Every day you allow Nanos to work, you are endangering the life of the public. He went and moved to Arizona because he knew, I don't need to be nowhere in the state of Texas trying to find work. Let me go way over here to a whole entirely different state. He deliberately omitted the information. He never admitted his infractions. Whether they checked or not, he should have told them. I do have a bad track record. I'm trying to redeem myself. I'm trying to find God, Jesus, Allah, Muhammad, whomever. Just the damn truth. But he didn't. Why do you think he went to Arizona? He hoped they wouldn't call and ask. Would you hire him again? Was he a good cop? Why is he leaving? Has he been in trouble, suspended? Has he gone to court for violence? It's the good old boy system. Nobody cared. And I think it's interesting that we are 42 years in the hole. We're just not hearing about this man's past. So what I'm going to tell myself is what I tell myself every day. If it happened to Nanos, it's going on right now somewhere in your neck of the woods, in my neck of the woods. Somebody is working right now at the police department, sheriff's department, and they're beating up people, stealing people. They're molesting, they're raping, they're doing what the hell they want until somebody speaks up and say, hey, he's a dirty dog, she's a dirty dog. We need to get him out of here. We've got all these crimes people are doing right in front of people, and nobody does a damn thing. I'm sick of hearing about children being hurt. I'm sick of children being molested. I'm sick of hearing these stories about people being assaulted. I'm sick of hearing about cops frisking women, stealing their jewelry, stealing their money, asking for cash advances not to arrest them. You keep hearing the same thing over and over and over. And right now, we have a situation here in Tennessee where the state troopers are arresting you for DUI, but you're not even drunk. Oh, I'm arresting you on a suspicion. No, give me the breathalyzer. Breathalyzer, pee in the cup. It ain't got nothing. You're going to let me go. As most of you know, Tiger Woods has been arrested for DUI. He is now free on bond. Held for 8 hours. What is going on with Tiger Woods? What is his problem? I don't know. I don't know. That's the latest, everybody. Was the crime scene staged at Nancy Guthrie's home? Did the perpetrator or perpetrators stage her house to look like an abduction for another reason besides why they actually went there to her home? So no matter what you think about who did it and why, the point is he, she, they had no business going to that lady's house. I don't care if you didn't like her. She was rude to you. She owed you money. You liked her. You were attracted to her. You had an affair with her. I don't really care. There comes a point in life when we all have to let bygones be bygones. People are going to piss us off. People are going to talk about us. They're going to gossip. They're going to lie on us. They're going to steal from us. That is just a part of living. But when you decide to go into someone's house in the dark of night, to take them out of the house and put your hands on them, you've gone too damn far. And I don't care who it is. Caretaker, groundsman, her children, you had no right. It was not your place to take her out of here and remove her from the earth. And I do believe that Nancy is not alive. And I do believe that was the sole intention. I do not believe in all these other theories of her bumping her head and she fell, she had a heart attack, she had a stroke. I do believe this was a deliberate homicide to get rid of an old lady. And it only leaves me with the option. It was somebody that felt they were wronged by her and the family. It was her family, or it was a sexual assault. Those are the options I have at the moment. It's one of those three. Somebody felt wronged by Nancy and the family. It was a sexual assault, or it's her children. Because it really can't be no other option but those three. I don't believe there was a ransom. I don't believe it was a random person that did it and knew of her living there and she was wealthy, so they thought, or knew about her being the mother of Savannah. Could be, but I'm gonna lean on the three I came up with. And I can't be attractive at 84. Somebody can't be looking at her in that way, in a sexual way. Of course, a person can look at an 84-year-old in a sexual way. Elderly people do still have sex, okay? But RAPE, it's not sex. That is an assault. And for all I know, somebody was eyeing her in that way and they wanted to do the nasty with her and take the cookie. It happens every day. Elderly people are sexually assaulted in nursing homes, assisted living. They're assaulted by people who live with them in their house. They're assaulted by people that live in nursing homes. They're assaulted by the staff. So I don't know why you all would be shocked that a stranger wouldn't break in her house and sexually assault her. Thank you for taking the polls. I'm looking at the numbers of people watching. Few people fell off when I started reading the polls. This is my network. And it helps cut down my time not to do another live. I'm already on live number 2. So I read the polls because I felt like it. I'd like to hear your opinions. That's the purpose of me exacting the polls, coming up with the questions. You all kindly answer, and I appreciate that. So I decided to put them in this live stream with the Nancy Guthrie commentary. I thank you. I'm already an hour and 27 minutes into this live. This is live number 2. This is a very baffling case. And the sad part is that it's truth. It's not fiction. It's not a novel. It's not a Netflix movie or Tubi movie. It is the truth of a woman being taken out of her home assaulted and possibly deceased. More than likely, she's dead. And you're trying to wrap your mind around why a human being would stoop this low. And like I said, we're all flawed. I always say this because people come in always saying, don't judge. The fuck are you talking about? I can judge anybody. Even if right now I've done some crazy stuff. I ain't in here sexually assaulting no old lady and then kidnapping her and taking her and dumping her in the damn desert. And I get it, we as humans, we judge, even when we've done cruel things ourselves. We still judge because that's what we do. We're human, we're of the flesh. We judge. But this ain't your typical type of crime, okay? This is not. This is not your typical type of crime. This isn't your basic stealing out of Walmart, stealing out somebody's house, stealing some Christmas ornament, wreath off the door. You're talking about going in someone's personal space in the dead of night, putting your hands on this person. And this is what I want everyone to focus on. This is a violent offender, whether he or she has a record or not. They are violent. Whether they are a United States citizen or not, they are violent. Once they went in and put their hands on Nancy, he told you who he is and what he's about. And hell yeah, it'll be even more disturbing to find out it's one of her damn kids or distant family members. Punch that lady in the mouth and her nose, she's bleeding, they're wrapping her up trying to get her out of there or walking her out of there. And common sense should tell you something that I haven't heard from anybody. You think they wanted her to bleed in their car? Hell no. That's why I said I wouldn't doubt that they took her in her own truck, dumped her off, brought her back, parked her truck in the garage, and then jumped in their car and left. You know, that's the crazy part. I've never heard them say or interview any other family members other than the immediate. Thank you, Sky. Exactly. This is why I said you have to pay attention to the information. You have to pay attention to what's being said by law, neighbors, the family, and what they're not telling you. And you haven't heard of any other family member except some white girl that's supposed to have been messing with that Luke character who got his Range Rover taken. Allegedly, some distant relative of Nancy's was dating him and she's a dope fiend and she exacted a crime allegedly. I don't know if that's true or not, but I find that very suspicious if it's true. What are the odds of some distant relative that's also supposed to be the daughter or relative of the woman that played the kidnap game with Nancy? Now imagine if all that's true. This girl is the mother, is the granddaughter, and you don't think that's not important to mention to the public? I don't know where people are getting this from, but I'm gonna tell you why I know this is bullshit. That Luke guy, when he did the interview with that lady, the dark-haired lady, she asked him about that girl. What did he say? I don't know her. I don't know why people are trying to put me with her. I got arrested with her last year, but I don't know her. Huh? Number two, his mother. She told Brian Enton that she met Savannah and Nancy at the grocery store or some store years before. But when the dark-haired lady did the interview, ma'am, have you ever met Nancy or Savannah? Oh, no. No. Well, which is it? Why are you changing the version? See, I listen to everything. You're damn near 80-something years old yourself. You're 77 years old or so. Why are you lying? Oh, my son wouldn't do nothing like that. Your son is a crackhead. And I don't mean to judge people who have used drugs or currently using drugs, but when you get desperate, you will go along with some bullshit such as kidnapping, sexual assault, if your mind takes you there. You get on the right type of drug, you don't know what the hell your mind will tell you to do. So you're sitting up in an interview And you have not told the truth, Miss Lady. And your son is a liar too, Luke. While you're sitting there with your vest and your shirt and your tie like you're a good old boy that go to church, when we already know you have done some heinous bullshit in your time. And I got you on that list as well as that Kalila guy out there in LA. And the Chris from the interview room has been knocking this horse on his channel. A lot of people don't like it. You do need because the fact that he called Tommaso and Annie's phone is suspect to me. The fact that he called another Guthrie family member that nobody wants to tell us who that person is for 9 seconds. Who is that? And I don't doubt that Luke knows Derek from LA because of that hard rock punk group shit that they're into. I'm woke. This world is 6 degrees of separation. 6 degrees of separation. It's just like living here where I live. This is a small, small area filled with little bitty counties. Most of us know of each other through marriage, relation, each other, going out, bar hopping, clubs, church, whatsoever. Pima County ain't no damn different. California ain't that far from Arizona. You all better wake up because I'm woke. I got a feeling all these people know of each other some type of way. They've crossed paths with each other. So sitting up here doing these stupid ass interviews and lying, my house, you're not gonna find anything. Wait a minute. First of all, I'd have been straight gangster, as I said in one of my lies. I would have told the FBI, why are you here? What led you to my house to think Nancy Guthrie is in my house? Help me understand. That'd be the first thing I said to the FBI and the sheriff. Excuse me, hello, woo. Why are you here? Why are you at my house? Nancy Guthrie, I don't know her. Oh, I met her once before at the grocery store, but I don't know her. My son, what does my son have to do with this case? I didn't hear none of that in the interview. Oh, sure, you could check my house, but you're not gonna find anything. Okay. Well, let me say this to you, Miss Lady. If your son has something to do with it, you don't know what the hell the FBI could have found in your damn house because you think you know your son is a drug addict. Whether he gets high right now or not, he is still an addict. So you sit up here trying to toot the horn of a drug addict, you know Queen don't care nothing about that. And this is no disrespect to anybody that is an addict, recovering, or known as an addict anyway, whether you still use or don't, drink or don't, gamble or don't. Ain't that right, Nanos? Gamble or don't. You don't know people. And I'd like to know, what does your son do for a living to afford the Range Rover? Why is he living with you? Yeah, I ask all the questions. Why is your grown-ass son living with you? He's almost 40 years old. Why is he still living in your house? Does he have a girlfriend? Does he have a wife? Has he ever been married? Does he have children? Why is your grown-ass son living with you? Luke, do you know Derek Kalila from California? Do you know Annie and Tommaso? Do you know anybody that knows them, hangs with them? Are you still currently using drugs? Do you have a job? I'm asking all the damn questions because in the end, we don't know how far down the rabbit hole this nonsense goes. And everybody's acting like they're high on dope out there in Tucson. You know, you all act like you're smoking crack out there, some of you, because you're living in a bubble. You're trying to make us believe this Tucson, Arizona is this wonderful place to live. It ain't no better than living here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I live in a very nice area. I live in an area that's considered upscale. But guess what? We have poor people, working class, that live in this damn neighborhood. It's mixed. Yeah, you could walk a block down, 2 blocks over. You might bump into a nice home that's $800,000, $1 million. Then you might go around the corner to another house, $300,000. The point is, You cannot speak for everyone. And I'm tired of hearing this nonsense pertaining to Tucson. I'm sick of it. Trying to portray this place like it's, some the fucking Mayberry. Obviously, it's not. There's an 84-year-old lady that's probably dead. It ain't that great. It ain't that great. There's no telling where this woman is. This is so horrible. And I felt bad for Savannah listening to her. I felt bad for her. And yes, we do need to group her sister, brother, all of them into it too, if they have been cleared. Because everybody's putting her up on a pedestal as if she ain't got no siblings. It is a family unit. What they really are like and do they really get along? I don't know. But who the hell's getting ready to get on TV and say, we really don't get along. My family don't really like me. My siblings don't really like me. I'm the head knocker. I'm the one that talks too much. I'm the outspoken one. We really don't know what the hell is going on with the Guthries, how they get along. I don't know. I'm not here to point fingers. All I'm saying is this is a very baffling case, but I also know the gist of the story could be it's only baffling because we don't have the information that law enforcement has. Of Nancy's employees, people who come to work for her, come in her house, caretakers, physical therapists, whomever. Uber drivers, Lyfts, UPS, FedEx, neighbors, can't leave them out. But the one thing that's puzzling, besides the case itself, law enforcement, you've got us all over here. One minute you're telling us it could be a neighbor, it's this. Then the sheriff wants to say, oh, well, lock your doors, be safe. That's stuff you should have said in the beginning. Hey, we don't know who did this. You need to be careful of the company you keep. You need to get an alarm system. You need to get cameras. Sheriff Nanos, you should have said that in the beginning. The fact you want to tell us the other day that you're transparent. You're not transparent. You've lied to get a job at Pima County. You're not transparent. The fact that we got people saying that you're vindictive. You exact revenge on deputies. You got one guy, Sergeant Cross, on desk duty. You're falling out with people left and right that don't respect you. They're voting you out. That don't sound like people that like you and love you. And you haven't changed since El Paso. That's where I have the problem. You're running it as an iron fist, the sheriff department. So one can say, well, Queen, he's changed. He's trying to better himself. Not with what I'm hearing. You're upholding a deputy that committed sexual assault allegedly. That don't sound like change to me. That sounds like a crooked cop. And that's why I said you need to be investigated. Because the fact you didn't want the FBI to investigate this deputy tells me your character is just as great. You have not changed. You have not grown. You're not mature. You're not no Christian. Ain't no way. And you don't show redemption to me. There's too many people saying negative things about you, and it's serious. You're in charge of these people, but you have a bad repertoire, and that is not good. You stand before the news and the public. I'm not used to people hanging on to my every word. Who is that? And they're the sheriff. You're talking about a dead person, perhaps. I'm not used to people hanging on to my every word. Well, then why are you in this position? Maybe you should think before speaking. You have a no-care attitude. And sadly, you have worked your way up the ranks to sheriff. Okay? You have worked your way up the ranks of sheriff, showing us you don't care about yourself. The very reason why we know your past now. You are the same 28-year-old punk that you were in El Paso. Nothing has changed. You're a loudmouth, you're boisterous, you're a wannabe head knocker, you want to be in control, you don't want to listen, you don't want to take directions, you don't want suggestions, you don't want to follow rules, you don't want to follow protocols, you want to do your own thing. You also were an actor, they said, a great sportsman. You're combative, sir. You have not redeemed yourself. And what is sad to me, you are what I talk about on this network. You are an old fool. You have gone through life and said, I'm never going to change. I ain't going to try to change. I'm going to step over everybody. I'm going to do what I want when I want. I don't have no repercussions. I don't care about consequences. I don't care about you. I don't care about your feelings. I don't really care about this 84-year-old. Yeah, I shed a few tears on make you think I cared about Nancy Guthrie. I don't give a F about that old lady. You're empty. You have a little man syndrome. And it is sad that Nancy Guthrie is basically a casualty of war 2 times over. The fact that she's missing and possibly dead, that's number 1. Number 2, you and your teammates are investigating her crime. It's a lost cause. I thank God for the FBI. And from my understanding, somebody said you had to beg them to come back, which I don't doubt. You're ruthless. You're ruthless and you're careless. But this is what people need to understand. There is a Chris Nanos right next door at your sheriff's department, police station, Texas Ranger, whatever, state trooper, it's all the same. State police. There's a Chris Nanos everywhere. And if they ain't the sheriff, they work at Burger King, McDonald's, they work at the Ross, the Burlington, the Walmart, hothead, pop off, get mad, want to take everybody down in flames because they're having a bad fucking day. That's everywhere. And people like that I ignore to keep me from getting locked up and incarcerated. And I'll tell you the same. You come across somebody like Chris Nanos, you ignore them because you'll end up going to jail. He has been afforded the opportunity to be a reign of terror. And that's so sad because we need stable-minded, objective-thinking people in law enforcement. We can't have hotheads running around with guns. That is the worst. It's bad enough we got people out here with guns who are registered and those who are not. But we don't need people in law enforcement with guns and they can't think clearly. So you live in Tucson, sign the petition. Do yourself and the community a favor and also do it for Nancy Guthrie. Do it for the great people of Tucson. Do it for the deputies at work. Do it for those who want to be free from this terror. Do it for those who've been put on desk duty and don't deserve it. Do it for everyone. Vote Chris Nanos out of office. If you have any information pertaining to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, you call the FBI. Do it because it's the right thing, not because it's a reward. Do it because it's the right thing. What you know. As for the perpetrator, God have mercy on your soul. God have mercy on your soul. Because you have done a horrible thing. It wasn't serious enough to snatch that lady up in the dark, scare her half to death, put your hands on her, and then dump her like trash. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Whoever helped, your ass ought to go down in flames right along with your partners. If it's the family, same thing. You are a dirtbag. It's past tense. But only God can save you now. He's the only one that can forgive you and give you redemption. That's my commentary. Was the crime scene staged in any way? Doors propped open, anything propped? In her house, bedroom, kitchen, living room? Did they use her car, bring her car back? Did they take her, brought her car back, used her, put her in a car? Is the family involved? Distant members? Why haven't we heard of any other family members? Are there any living relatives that live in Tucson? I think that's strange. We haven't heard of any relatives. I think they should have done an interview in the beginning, the family together, not just IGs. Savannah is going back to work. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Sophie. Same to you. She's going back to work April 6th. Should she go back to work? Some of you voted on the poll that she shouldn't. Why not? She has a husband. She has children. She has a job. Many people have missing family members every day. They cannot afford to stay away from work, although they are not multimillionaires, but they have to work. They have to pay mortgages. They have to pay car notes. They have to pay bills. And some of you think she should not go back. Well, what should she be doing in her spare time? Hanging around in Tucson? Because if indeed it was a ransom that didn't follow through, I don't think it'd be safe for her to hang around Tucson. And she told you that in the interview. They had to hide going in and out of the house. So it wouldn't be safe for her to be in Tucson. And naturally, she would get bored being in Tucson or being in New York City doing nothing. It is her choice to return to work. Will she be able to work is the question, without breaking down while working the news. Because she may have some bad days in front of that camera and it may show. So that would be my fear. She would start to break down while doing her commentary. Some people feel like NBC has used her to get ratings. Do you feel like NBC has used Savannah Guthrie in this Nancy Guthrie case by doing the interview with Savannah? I will put that on a poll after this live. Some people say they're despicable. They're shameful for interviewing her. Well, some will say, well, why wouldn't they? She works for them. See, everything is interpretation and perception. Some of you may say, I don't think they used her. All she had to do was say, no, I'm not ready to talk. See, that's the thing that some of you forget, that sometimes life is a two-way street. NBC can't make her talk, speak. Her mother's missing, for God's sake. You can't get mad because she wouldn't want to do an interview. Don't you think that would be kind of cruel? For all we know, it could have been her idea. Hey, I'd like to talk to you all about my mom. You see, we've done this already. Have we not assumed things and we didn't know the ins and outs? Just like the ransom, the reward. We were judging her for not putting up money, and then we learned FBI allegedly told her, don't offer any money. So for all we know, she went to NBC and said, I'd like to talk about my mom. I'd like to talk about my feelings, and said, I'd like to talk about my mom. I'd like to talk about my feelings pertaining to you all. You know, people insinuating my family is involved. You family. I don't know them. I don't know that they're this low down that they would orchestrate a kidnapping, alleged kidnapping, unaliving of their own mother. I would pray that these people are not that soulless, but we know there are people out here like that. And it would be a shame if Annie and Tommaso concocted this farce crime. But in the end, whoever did it, you're disgusting either way. Follow me on the News Breakout. Follow me on Instagram. If you want to reach out to the Queen directly, you want a video chat with the Queen, call me up anytime. I will respond. BigSexy.71 on Instagram. Follow me on Google. I give reviews on Google. 3 million plus views. Thank you. Thank you, Google, who owns YouTube. Thank you. Thank you for this grand opportunity to share my opinions. We can agree to disagree. You don't have to agree with everything I say and think, because I have the right to change my mind at any given moment, such as yourself. This is not a one-stop shop for true crime. I talk about various topics, as I did so earlier in the live, bringing you content pertaining to your demographic, where you live, your sexual preferences, your children. I talk about everything on this network. And some of you do appreciate that. And I appreciate you for listening and commenting. Thank you so much, Jenny. Good to see you. Once again, Hit me up on Instagram. We can talk, we can chat, video chat. Give me suggestions for new content. Put it below the video, put it on my community page. But do follow me on Newsbreak. I do not go live over there. They don't give us the option to go live, but I share my same content from here to there, which I hope is not a problem for them, but it just makes it easier to share it, you know, from one network to the other. But I also give posts and content over there. I have not uploaded anything over there in the past week, but I will be putting some new content over there on Newsbreak. Feel free to go over to Newsbreak and download the app and put it on your phone. You can learn things about your own neighborhood and demographic once you put in your location. Anything that's going on in your little small town or general area, you'll get a notification and you will learn something new about your town that you didn't know about, because news, some of you don't have cable. So you download the app, anything popping off in your little jurisdiction, you'll get a notification, and you'll also get notification. Thank you. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Please be safe. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Mind the children. Hello, Latasha. Thank you. You came in late, darling. I'm getting ready to check out of here. I got to get some dinner. This is live number 2. I thank you for following this network. Once again, was the crime scene staged? Thank you, Scott. You do the same. Was the crime scene staged? Doors propped open, says Savannah. Was she told the truth? See, that's what I really want to know. I want to know what all was told to Savannah Guthrie. What all she believes and don't believe. Because I think she's a bit naive for her age. She thinks the best of her family, which she should. But does she really know them? No, she doesn't. Because none of us know one another. That's an illusion of perception. You don't know everyone's thought process. There's no way you could possibly know what a person is thinking at every given moment. And it would be sad if she is disappointed to find out her family is involved. That would be very hurtful to anyone, to learn that their family is involved. I think she would be sick, and I think it would push her over. She talks about her faith a lot during that interview, but honey, I don't think she would ever be the same if she found out her sister and brother-in-law were behind the disappearance of her mother, and I pray that they're not involved. Because this crime should have never happened in the first place. Like so many other crimes, missing people, and she made that clear why they donated money to the Missing Persons Foundation. Their mother isn't the only person missing, and other people need to be recognized as well, and I'm glad that was said. But that's the point. A lot of these children missing, adults, it is somebody that knew them, got them missing. Not a random person. No kidnapping. Somebody unalived them. It was intentional. And in my spirit, I do believe this crime was intentional. It was not happenstance, because there's no such thing as going into someone's house, playing with a Nest camera, removing it, going into the home, putting your hands on a person. That is not happenstance. You planned this, you went in with reason, forethought, and I do believe the intention was murder. The question is who and why. And did you get what you wanted by unaliving an 84-year-old woman? Did you get what you... That's my commentary. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. Take the polls on my community page. Voice your opinion. Prayers for the Guthrie family. Prayers for just whoever committed this atrocious crime. Prayers for our other missing people, persons, children. They matter as well. All lives matter. And I just pray that none of you ever have to be in this situation of wondering where your loved one is and or finding out that your loved one has been found deceased and it was foul play. There are many cases here in Tennessee of missing persons. I will talk about that possibly tomorrow, of some cases that still bother me to this day, and that is Summer Wells, Sebastian Rogers, Chad Carr. Where are these people? I do believe each case is foul play. That is my public opinion. I do believe Chad Carr was unalived by his housemates at his halfway house. Last place he was living, seen, and on the phone with his sister when the phone went dead at 9:30 p.m. on a Sunday. Van left behind. He just purchased it the day before. His belongings still in his room. Somebody in that house unalived Chad Carr, and they had help. I believe you removed Chad Carr in his own vehicle. You drove it off the property and you threw him out into the wilderness, and you came back and parked his van as if nothing happened. But in the end, you're going to have to stand account for what you did to him. And I am very disgusted with the law officials of Clinton, Tennessee, that you all have not talked about him and you have not given us any update to any investigation. But Queen called last year. I called the sheriff's office, the police departments, and I also called TBI to ask, why the hell are you all not discussing the disappearance of Chad Carr? Summer Wells is still missing. I suspect foul play. Sebastian Rogers, foul play. Those are my public opinions. If I'm wrong, then I am wrong. Thank you for your time. Prayers for the missing and those who have been unalived. Justice for these said people. Thank you for listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.